Hey, welcome back. I'm Offlets, and today is a bit of a special video. I'm doing a lot of montages for a while now, so I decided to take a break. And recently, I've been playing Raze for around a week, so I've learned a lot. And since I'm kind of new to Raze and a lot of other characters in this game, I just want to give some tips and some basics on what I learned. And by watching this video, you'll learn a ton of tips like about her satchels, triple satchels, double satchels, and movement. I'll put the timestamps in the description, so it'll be much easier for you to navigate around this tutorial. But yeah, mind my clicky keyboard, but I hope you enjoy. So yeah, a few basics of Raze is that you just gotta understand, one, her radius of her satchels, and two, the angle that you jump at. Because if you jump straight up like this, you get a ton of height, right? But if you jump maybe straight forwards from the satchel, you get a ton of speed. And that's pretty much the basics of a lot of double jumps and triple jumps that I learn and that a lot of pros do. Because yeah, the angles are super important. Like, for example, a lot of jumps go from let's say speed, and then they go really high after that to get on the high angles. And also, the good thing about Raze is that how close you are or how far you are from the satchel doesn't affect how powerful the satchel is. So what you want to do is you want to basically kind of learn the radius of the satchel, and if you get used to the radius, then you'll launch super far, because even though it has the same power as if it were here, you still be much further than if you were here. Also, angle. Well, angle, you kind of get used to it after a while. At first, I was just hitting my head on stuff because my angle is way too high like this. But basically, if you land on the satchel straight up, you'll go super high. But if you land on the satchel like this way, you go super far. And so basically, the lower the angle that you have on the satchel, the faster you'll get. But if you go straight up like this, you get to height. So for example, say if I want to do speed, I'm gonna go around there and not jump on top of it, or otherwise I'll go straight up. So if you want to do double satchels or triple satchels, make sure you know the angle like this. And also, if you want to get a lot of speed on your satchels, you may want to throw it, like wait like half a second and then activate it, so then the satchel will be behind you instead of, let's say, so if I activate it instantly, it goes like that. But if I activate the satchel with a delay like this, I fly further. And also, where you're looking really depends on where you're looking really depends on the satchel's angle. Like for this, I don't want to do a double satchel like that. I want to do a double satchel maybe looking between the floor and head height, so like around there. So if you see what I mean, if I look straight at the ground like this, it's not gonna work, because your timing gets messed up, and plus the angle gets messed up. Say if you do straight forwards, you'll just knock yourself backwards. But if you look at this height, I guess, you go flying, which is really good. Alright, triple satcheling. This was pretty hard for me at first, because I use the basic keybinds. Some people will hate me for it, but I like the basic keybinds. And having to press Q and E while pressing X is really hard, because you're using like all of your fingers. Actually, yeah, you're using all 5 of your left hand or right hand, and you have to press them down at like the exact same time. That's not fun. Well, luckily I have a gaming mouse, so I have 2 extra buttons where my thumb is. So I rebinded Q and E on my mouse button. And if you do this, it's really useful. So instead of having to press all 5 of your keys on your left hand down, you can give some of those keys to your right hand, and yeah, like that. So for example, I have a two buttons on my thumb. There's a one that's a bit further than the second one, and the one that's a bit behind, and they're in line, right? And my first button is my satchel, and my second one's my grenade, which is super useful. And if you do have a gaming mouse and you rebind them like these, it's gonna take a while at first to get used to using the satchels. Like, you're probably gonna have muscle memory and activate the satchels with your default bind. But once you start getting used to your satchels with your mouse button, it starts to get super easy to do double satchels, because it means that your mouse has more control over your satchels than your actual keyboard, which gives you a lot better movement. And also, instead of having to press Q, W, Shift, and X at the same time, all I have to do is press W, Shift, and then I can just use my satchel and then press X. And for triple satchels, there's 2 ways of doing it. One is just the basic one where you hold it like this and then you jump. But a lot of times like that, you lose like a ton of momentum, and plus the enemy team is always going to run away from your ult, so they have a better chance at escaping your ult. But what you should do is you should place your you should use your ult between your first satchel and your second satchel. But what I like to do is I like to activate my ult at the same time as my first satchel. So instead of having a delay, like say I'm flying like this and I can't click because the ult's still being set up, I can activate it whenever I want, which is super useful. Like I'll show you the difference. So go like this, and then say this on there, I have like a 2-second delay. Well, if I activate my satchel at the same time as my ult, I can activate it instantly, which is really useful. But just keep in mind, there's always going to be a delay from when you press your ult to when you can actually use it. Just because Raze has to pull a rocket out, which does take... Well, you're not going to notice it if you activate your satchel at the same time as your ult. But if you're starting and you're doing like this, then I don't think you should do that. I think you should just start by holding out your ult like this, and then using the satchels like that. But in this case, because you have less momentum, you want to put your satchel a bit closer to you, so that you have say the satchel's there, right? You have a better, if you're standing here, you have a better chance at flying further, and plus the angle is going to be lower. So yeah, that's a pretty useful tip on triple satchels. And I'll just teach you a bunch of double satchels and triple satchels while I'm here. Well, you should if you want to learn like in depth, I recommend you should watch Flights and Grey FPS. I like watching Grey better because Grey is a bit more technical than Flights. But yeah, I recommend watching Grey's videos. I'll put some down in the description. But I'll teach you the general ones. Well, on Ascent, that is. So the first one is here. Well, you want to make sure your team are like holding here and that you don't die or that it's smoked. And then you want to jump and you want to crouch up to here and place your satchel around here. I kind of like putting it there. It just makes me feel better. And then you want to do this in a custom first, because you're not going to get this first try in a game unless you're like Radiant Raze. But do this in a custom before you go on, and you'll get much better at it. So you're going to go like this and then land on top of here. So I'll show you what that looks like now. And yeah, once you go up to here, well, on this one, you will like place your satchel there. But on the second one, you want to activate it around here, and you want to lift your mouse up a bit just so you can get on top of here. And then once you get on top of here, you bunny hop onto here. Or you can stay there if you want and then kill whoever's there. But I like to bunny hop on here and then just surprise anyone who's sitting in one of these corners. And yeah, you can get into market after that. And another really easy one for Raze is from here on this box all the way to inside here. And this one's really easy. You don't need to maneuver a lot, and it's pretty short, so you should be fine. But you want to go on here, place your satchel around here, and then jump like that. And you want to keep your satchels low. You don't want to lift your mouse up just like the one on before, because otherwise you hit your head on that, and if there's anyone watching here or there, they can kill you really easily. But most of the time, if you ever smokes, they'll probably smoke it. So once you get into here, it'll be pretty easy. And a lot of the times they're focusing, these people looking there, they may watch you go into there, so you want to make sure you like grenade those angles before you do it. But it's pretty safe. Like, I've done it a lot of times and I've never been caught doing it unless there's someone camping inside here. But that one's a pretty easy one. And another one right here, I kind of learned this one a few days ago, but you want to place your satchel there and you will fly up and land on top of here. And then you can jump on that box if you're a parkour master, but I'm not going to do that. But you place your satchel there, you know, go around the wall, and then pretty easy. That's a pretty easy one. And practice all of these ones in a custom first. I always practice Raze satchels in a custom, and you get so much better at Raze if you put the time into it. But yeah, another one here, I do this a lot, but this one is super risky if your team hasn't cleared any angles. And normally I would do this at the start of a game, or like when everyone has classics and stuff, because otherwise they can't really spray you down. Or do this when you have an ult, because you can just one click them with the ult. But be in mind that there's probably going to be people here. I've seen people there, and there. So there are like a ton of angles that can kill you when you satchel in. So you want to be really careful. And I would only do this on rounds when they have classics and when you have your ult. But that's about it. And you want to place your satchel around here. Try and get as far as this wall can get you, because then it'll make it easier flying in. You place it around there, then jump. That. You want to get I insta-clicked mine, but you want to have it a delay on your second satchel, but you want to make sure you don't go too high. So more between speed and heights, around 45 degrees on both satchels, and you should be fine. So like that. And then once you get really good at that, you can add a triple satchel in. So once you're around here and you're at the peak of your jump, you want to turn around and then ult out, and then you'll land on a heaven. And your smoker should have smoked it already, so you should be fine. But I'll show you what I mean. Like that. But you want to have a little bit more speed on the first one, a little bit more height on the second. You'll land on top of here. You should be fine. It's not too hard, but it should be pretty easy. But for defending, there's one that's like the exact same as that, but you're in defending. So I kind of like at the very start of the round, you want to stand here and you want to throw your grenade like this on top of the roof of that, and then what that will do is they will land exactly here. I killed like a ton of people with this one. And like before, do this when you have your ult or judge, or it's the starting rounds. But stand there, put your satchel around there, and then you want to jump. You want to jump, and then you want to fly and land on top of there. And I'll show you what that looks like now. Satchel out. Satchel out. Yeah, and once you get in here, you can ult, you can kill the people here. And also, even if you don't make it on top of here, it takes a couple of tries. Like I took a few, maybe 3 tries to get up here. If you land down here, that's fine. But keep in mind, if you're using your ult, people will probably hide here and there, and they'll fall back. So just be prepared if you see like a ton of people here, and just ult them out. Pretty easy. So last one I'm gonna give pretty easy one. Stand here. Get only like in defending, you never really want to do satchels unless you have a judge and you're prepared to fight 5 people. But I don't really recommend doing in defending. I've died a lot when I vandal in to 5 people. It doesn't work unless you're a pro. But attacking is really good with satchel, double satchels and triple satchels, but not really defending unless there's like a single person alive or something like that. But you don't want to 1v5 a ton of people. But anyways, the last one I'm gonna share. You just stand here, put that satchel there, and pretty easy. And before you wanna do all your double satchel and triple satchels, you gotta know how to strafe, because I know a ton of people that don't know how to strafe like this. Well, it's super simple. You just gotta get the hang of it. What you want to do is you want to combine your movement with your keyboard and your mouse. So you want to combine them. So say if I want to go right, I won't turn like this because that's not good. I want to hold W and D and then use my mouse to turn right like this. And then you want to bunny hop while you do it. And then turn left, WA. And then with this you can get on top of things really easily. And also you make less sound. It's really useful with the flanking. But be in mind, don't do this a lot. Like say if you're rotating sights, don't do this a lot when you're doing that, because you're actually a bit slower when you strafe. So only do this when you don't need to worry about time. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you Raze Satcheling one day. Alright, see ya.